Hello, my name is Nabil. Today I will be talking about translation pattern. But before talking about translation pattern and what does translation pattern mean and what's the purpose for using translation pattern, you have to know that there's a great difference between the cold number and the calling number. Actually, the cold number, this is the number that you are dialing in the phone itself. Just remember this picture. Whenever you are dialing a number, the number that you are dialing, this is the cold number. But the calling number, this is the number that appears in the phone when someone calls you. As you can see from this picture, the call number is like this mouse, which is stronger than the other one, and the calling number is like this mouse. I'm putting this picture just to let you remember in the routing table, whenever it comes to routing and switching, all the packet routing is based on the destination IP address, not on the source IP address. Exactly in the call manager, the call routing is based on the called number, not the calling number. Okay. I'm having here a topology. This topology consists of two clusters. What I mean by two clusters, two publishers. Cluster A, which is the publisher, and as you can see, the IP.1 at the end. Cluster B, this is another publisher, which the IP address ends with 11 at the end. Cluster A has two phones, cluster B has one phone, and there's a SIP trunk. I've already configured the SIP trunk with no any root patterns or translation patterns. You have to know how does the translation pattern work. As you can see, whenever you are dialing a number, there's a match that happens. Let's go through the call manager and double check that together before explaining this. I'm having an IP communicator which is 1000, and this for cluster A. I'll be working on cluster A only. This is the other phone, which is something called IP Blue phone. This is actually because it's a demo version. It's registered with 1001. It's exactly like the topology. Just getting back to the topology to let you have a look on it. Okay, so if I try to dial the other number, okay, it's ringing, and the other side as well. Two-way reachability, no problem for that. Okay, I would like to let you know how the call manager thinks. Whenever you are dialing, for example, from this phone 1001, what does the call manager do? The call manager straight away go to the call routing and then double check something called route plan report. Route plan report, this is actually a report which contains all the dialable numbers. All the dialable numbers, not only the directory numbers. Okay, so this is 1000 and 1001. This is actually 2 because I don't have any root pattern, any translation pattern, anything. For example, if I go and try to add meet me number, this is actually for conference purposes, for example 1009, and save it. Just getting back to the route plan report after saved. Yes, core routing route plan report. As you can see here, that this number has been added as a meet me conference, right? But these numbers are added as IP communicator here, as you can see, and this is 7970, the IP blue. Okay, so why do I need to use translation pattern? Translation pattern is kind of a tool to make manipulation inside my cluster. Manipulation means changing the numbers. So, for example, if I go to the translation pattern, by default there's no any translation pattern created. If I try to create a translation pattern, says here in the translation pattern you're putting the number that people can dial. For example, if I'm having like a company and I'm just saying to my company, for any help please dial 0. Whenever I press 0 here, this number will be able to dial. Before I'm going to save, I'll try to open a line, press 0, a busy tone straight away, because there's no number in the route plan report called 0. If I just press 0 and save, I'm having a number. Right now, when someone press 0 button, what do I need to do? For example, we can say that the IB blue will act as like an help desk or something. Okay, so whenever someone press the 0 button, I would like to dial 1001. So I'll go just down there. I'm having something called cold party transformation and the cold party transformation. So calling and cold, which one I would like to change, which one I would like to dial, which is actually the cold number for sure. So I'll go here to the transform mask. I'll put the number that I would like to dial, which is 1001. Save. Let's have a test. Whenever I press 0, 1001 is ringing. Okay, I need to let you know how did that work. Okay, when I press 0, the call manager went to the root plan report. He found a translation pattern. This is actually the translation pattern symbol. Okay, when I press 0, just go to this translation pattern. It checked if there's any manipulation happened to that. Yes, in the cold I've changed the number to be 1001, so it took 1001 and then it went again to the root plan report, and then it found that there's a phone with 1001, and that's why 1001 is ringing. This is actually the same as the picture here. As you can see here, I'm dialing a number. Whenever it matches, which is actually the 0, it goes to check if there's any manipulation for the call number and the calling number. Yes, I need to change the 0 to be 1001. Is there any pattern which is 1001? No, there's a destination straight away, which is actually the phone, so the phone rings. I can make kind of like a loop. Okay, I'll give you an example for that, but it's not it didn't work like this, but I just need you to let you understand how it works. Okay, so for example, I'll tell you whenever someone dials 0, I need to change the call number to be 999. Okay, and save it. So whenever someone try to dial 0, nothing, right? Because there's no number called 9999. So I'll go again and create another translation pattern with 999, and whenever someone dials 999, just change the number to 1001. Save it. Try to press on the 0 button. 1001 ringing. Exactly, if I try to press 0 from here, for sure 1001 will ring. It doesn't matter which phone is dialing, as long as there's no there's no partition or calling search space, it should work. So what happened right now, when I press on the 0 button, the call manager went to the root plan report. It checked the 0. Yes, go to the 0. After that, if there's any manipulation happened, yes, it changed the call number to be 999. Then it took 999 again and went to the root plan report. Is there 999? Yes. Go to 999. Change that there is any manipulation happen. Yes. Change it to 1001. Go to the root plan report again. 1001. The phone rings. This is exactly what's happening here until it reached the destination at the end, whether it's internal or external. Okay. Okay, there's something called transform Mosque. This is actually what I've done right now. When I go to I will delete the other one that I've created in the translation pattern. By the way, you can delete this one from the root plan report. You can go to 999 and just press delete. Okay, getting back to the translation pattern 0. I need whenever someone press 0 to be calling 1001. Okay, here you go. The same example. Press 0. 1001 is called. As you can see, the number that appears on the phone is 1000. I can make kind of manipulation to the calling number. If you remember at the beginning, we have said that the number appears on the phone. This is actually the calling number. I can let the call number appears like 8080, for example. Save it. Have a test. See, 8080 is ringing. Very flexible, very easy, very easy. Okay, there's something called transformation. You have to know how it works. Oh, where is it? Yes, here you go. As you can see here, these actually some examples about the numbers and everything. I will just go through these examples, and then I'll be explaining at the end how I can use that. As you can see here, I'm having the number is 2000, and the mask that I've put here in this part, which is transform mask. If the transform mask is 555 and then xxxx, and the number, whether it's calling or called, it doesn't matter, is 2000, then at the end the result will be like that. 0 with x will be 0, 0 is, with x will be 0, 0 with x will be 0, 2 with x will be 0, and the 5 will go 5, 5, 5. So the result will be like this: 5, 5, 5, and then 2, 0, 0, 0. Okay, just go to the other one. 0 with x, 0 with x, 0 with x, and then 2 with 4. As you can see, the Mosque is always winning in that battle. So here will be 4, and then 4 again, and then 2 with 4, because the Mosque is 4, so the Mosque would win. And then after that 0, 0, 0. Sorry, 2.0 only. And then here 2000 with 888XX, so the 8 will go down, and then the 8 will go down, and then the 8 will go down, and then 00 from 2000. Here the other one, 2000 with 123, the Mosque is the winner always, so it will be 123 without 2, because there's no x to put the 2 at the beginning down. If I'm having 2000 and 1000, Mosque, so 1000 would win. If I'm having 2009, so 9 would win. Let's have a practice on this part. So actually the two numbers, okay. I'm not going to play with the called number. I'm going to play with the calling number at that part. When I dial 0, the number that appears is 8080, right? So let's try to do this example. I'm going to the calling number, and put it like 555, and then xxx x. So just think about it for seconds. What's the result from this transformation mask or transform mask? Actually, yes, the result will be 555 and then 1000. Just write. See, 555 1000. What happened if this phone dialing the number would be 555 1001? Because just adding the mask to the calling number. Okay. If I try to make it like 555 xxx, check to the appearing like what? 555 and then triple zeros. And it goes like this. If I put, for example, here 9 as the example at the end, 9 only would win and would appear just 9 only, because the Mosque is always winning. Just only 9 is calling. Okay, what else I would like to add here? Yes, prefix. What does prefix mean and what does prefix do? Prefix is just adding a number from the left hand side. Adding numbers from the left side. If I'm having 1, 2, 3, and I'll just press prefix, for example 9, so the number that would appear would be 9, 1, 2, 3. Like what? Like this. I'm having here 9. Okay, when this phone is calling the other one, 9 appears only. For example, if I need to add 8 from the left hand side, I'll come to add prefix here. See what the number would appear. 8 and then 9. let's do it another way. When someone press 0, okay, when someone press 001, I need to prefix 1 at the beginning. I'll remove this cold. I would add just prefix 1. So what would happen right now when someone dialed 001? What would happen? The call manager would add for the call party. This is actually a call party because this is the number that I'm dialing on the phone. From the left hand side 1, so the number would be 1001. So 1001 would ring. So from here I'll dial 001. See, 1001 is ringing on the right hand side. It's kind of flexibility manipulation. You can manipulate the call number, the calling number, whatever you need to manipulate, whatever you need to do, you can do it straight away. Another thing that I would like you to let you know, just delete all of that, just leave it as 0 for example, and 101. So 101. Save it. As you can see here from the device, this is 10.1.1.1 from the device and then trunk. There's a zip trunk created to the cluster B. And if I go to the cluster B, which is .11, go to the device and then trunk, you would see that here I'm having a trunk to cluster A, right? So I need cluster A, which is let me open the other phone. I have 3 phones. These phones for site A, and the other phone that would appear on the right hand side would be for cluster B. As you can see, it's already added and registered. Right now I cannot call 1001. It's not working, right? So right now I need to add a pattern to let this phone calls these 2 phones, right? So just go to the .11 on the phone on the right hand side, make a root pattern. Yes, by default there's no root patterns. I will add a new root pattern to call, for example, 100x to be 1001 or 1000. I'm pointing this call to the I'm pointing this call to the gateway or the zip trunk that I have created to send the call to cluster A and save it. Okay. Right now I'm going to test it. From the phone for the site cluster B would call phone cluster A. Checking, it's not reachable. Let's go and reset the zip trunks because I've just created them. I did not reset anything. Reset this one. Great. Go to the trunk. Oops, sorry for that. Reset this one. Make sure that the IPs is right. This should be .11 at the end. Where is it? Yes. And the other one should be .1 at the end. Yes, it should be working right now. Let's try it one more time. 1000. Yep, it's working right now. Actually, the main difference between the translation pattern and the root pattern, if you go to the root pattern here that we have created on the cluster B, as you can see, the root pattern, it's looking like exactly the translation pattern, right? There's a call party transformation, calling party transformation, because you can make any kind of manipulation to the digits, but the difference that you should choose gateway. For example, if I try to add a new one, for example 1 2 3 4, and try to save it, it would not let you save. As you can see, you have to choose gateway or root list. Why? Because the root pattern, or the main difference between the root pattern and the translation pattern, the root pattern is sending the call out of the cluster, whether it's going to go to the a gateway or it's going to go to the a zip trunk to another another cluster, or to the internet telephony service provider if it's using a zip trunk or something. But the translation pattern, this is something internal. I can make kind of manipulation internal. Let me give you another example. I will let phone, for example, the phone in the cluster B, whenever it needs to dial cluster A, it has to press on 555 and then 1XXX, right? This is actually the number I'm putting in the loop pattern. This is the call number. I didn't put a gateway with cluster B. So right now from this phone, when I need to dial the other side, I'm pressing 555 and then 1001. Busy tone. Why? Because on the other side there's no phone called 555 1001, right? There's just only 1001 and 1000. So what I need to do from the other side, I need to create a translation pattern that manipulates the incoming digits to be, instead of 555, just only the 1001 at the end. So going to the core routing and then translation pattern. See, I'm just I'm using the core routing based on the call number. The call number that comes to me is 5551001. So I'll add a new translation pattern whenever I receive a number 5551xxx. What I need to do is, in the call party, just make it 1xxx. See what would happen right now? Just open a notepad. This is actually the translation pattern, and this is the Mosque. What would happen at the end? 555 will be deleted because the transformation is more stronger than the pattern itself, and then at the end I would have 1xxx. If it's 1001, the calling will be 1001. Just try to save it. Try again to call from these cluster B to cluster A. 5551001. Sorry, I'm calling the other phone. Sorry for that. Try it again. For this IP communicator, 5551000. See? So right now I have sent the call from the cluster B with what are called a fully qualified PSTN number. For example, if the cluster B is acting as a PSTN, I mean the full number, and then whenever the call comes to my call manager, I use translation pattern to make kind of manipulation to the number to get just only the extension. See, just take advanced one a little bit. If the PSTN number that I took from the PSTN is 5553xxx, okay, and the extension that I'm having in my site is just 1, so I make it like this. In order to do this, I have to manipulate the 3 to be 1, right? So exactly the one that it was before this is right, to make it like this. So whenever I make kind of calculation right now, the first 5 will be deleted, the second the same, the third the same, and then 3 with 1, what would happen? For sure 1 would win this battle, and then would be like this. So just write, as long as I make it 5 and then 555 and then 3xx, it would come to the translation pattern. It would match here, this one, right? And then this one would apply the transformation, and then it would match on the phone. Try it. I will dial from this phone 5553000 to be manipulated. As well, for sure I can just go from the other cluster B and make kind of manipulation to the calling. I need the calling to appear like for example 666 to xxx, right? So what would happen to the number? 666 to xxx, and the calling is 2000. So for sure the result will be 666 to 000. Just write 5531, sorry, again 5553000. See the number that is bringing 6662000. And this is actually the translation pattern. I hope this was helpful for you, and thank you for reviewing.